Hi, Tanaz here. Welcome to Simple Training. Today we study about fruits name in three languages like English, Kannada and Hindi. Same. In English we call it as apple, apple. Kurbani. In English we call this as apricot, apricot. Avocado full. In English, we call this as avocado, avocado. Kela. In English, we call this as banana, banana. Neel badri. In English, we call it as blueberry, blueberry. Jamun. In English, we call it as blackberry, blackberry. Khoon jaisa narangi. In English, we call this as blood orange, blood orange. Glass meva. In English, we call this as cherry, cherry. Nariyal. In English, we call this as coconut, coconut. Makka. In English, we call it as corn, corn. Kishmish. In English, we call it as currant, currant. Sharifa. In English, we call it as custard apple, custard apple. Khajur. In English, we call it as date, date. Durian. In English, we call it as durian, durian. Dragon fruit. In English, we call this as dragon fruit, dragon fruit. Anjir. In English, we call it as fig, fig. Angur. In English, we call it as grapes, grapes. Karonda. In English, we call it as gooseberry, gooseberry. Amrud. In English, we call it as guava, guava. Kathal. In English, we call it as jackfruit, jackfruit. Bear. In English, we call it as jujube, jujube. Kiwi. In English, we call it as kiwi fruit, kiwi fruit. Nimbu. In English, we call it as lemon, lemon. Lychee. In English, we call it as lychee, lychee. In English, we call it as mango, mango. Shahdud. In English, we call it as mulberry, mulberry. Zaitun. In English, we call it as olive, olive. Santra. In English, we call it as orange, orange. Mungfali. In English, we call it as peanut, peanut. Kaddu. In English, we call it as pumpkin, pumpkin. Papita. In English, we call it as papaya, papaya. Anar. In English, we call it as pomegranate, pomegranate. Krishnafal. In English, we call it as passion fruit, passion fruit. Aloo bukra. In English, we call it as plum, plum. Ananas. In English, we call it as pineapple, pineapple. Raspberry. In English, we call it as raspberry, raspberry. Kamrak. In English, we call it as star fruit, star fruit. Imli. In English, we call it as tamarind, tamarind. Tarbooj. In English, we call it as watermelon. Watermelon. Kharbuza. In English, we call it as muskmelon. Muskmelon. Zarber. In English, we call it as strawberry. Strawberry.